Right now, inside your feet, your hands, and your legs, there is a silent biological process happening that most doctors do not catch until it is too late. Your peripheral nerves, the millions of tiny nerve fibers that carry sensation, movement, and vital signals between your brain and every corner of your body, are slowly, quietly, and progressively deteriorating. The tingling you feel in your feet, the numbness in your fingers, the burning sensation in your legs at night, the feeling that your feet are wrapped in cotton wool. These are not minor inconveniences. These are not just the normal price of getting older. These are urgent, desperate, biological warning signals from a nervous system that is not getting one specific vitamin it needs every single day to protect, repair, and maintain your peripheral nerves. And today I'm going to tell you exactly which vitamin it is, because getting this one thing right could be the difference between stopping your neuropathy in its tracks and watching it steal more of your sensation, your mobility, and your quality of life every single month for the rest of your life. And before we go one single step further, if you know someone whose feet are constantly tingling, whose hands go numb without warning, whose legs burn at night so badly that sleep has become something they dread rather than something they look forward to, pause this video right now and send it to them immediately, because what we are about to share could genuinely change the trajectory of their nerve health starting this week. And if you are not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button right now. Every single week, we bring you honest, research-backed, and genuinely life-changing health information that most doctors simply do not have time to explain in a standard appointment. This community grows every single week, and I do not want you to miss a single video. Now let us get completely into this, because this information is urgent, it is important, and for many people watching right now, it could not come at a more critical time. Let us start by understanding exactly what neuropathy is and what is actually happening to your nerves when you experience those terrible symptoms. Because once you understand the biology, the solution we are about to discuss makes complete and perfect sense. Peripheral neuropathy is a condition characterized by damage to the peripheral nervous system, the vast network of nerves that extends from your brain and spinal cord outward to every part of your body. Your peripheral nervous system is responsible for carrying sensory information, touch, temperature, pain, pressure, from your body to your brain. It carries motor signals from your brain to your muscles, telling them when and how to move. And it carries autonomic signals that control unconscious functions like heart rate, digestion, and blood vessel tone. When peripheral neuropathy develops, all of these functions can be progressively impaired, which is why the symptoms of neuropathy are so varied and so comprehensively life-disrupting. The peripheral nerves are not bare electrical wires. Each nerve fiber is wrapped in a protective insulating coating called the myelin sheath, a fatty layered structure made primarily of a protein called myelin that wraps around the nerve fiber in a spiral pattern, much like the plastic insulation around an electrical cable. This myelin sheath serves two critical functions. First, it dramatically speeds up nerve signal transmission. In a myelinated nerve fiber, electrical signals do not travel continuously along the entire length of the fiber. They jump from gap to gap in the myelin sheath in a process called saltatory conduction that is dramatically faster and more energy efficient than continuous conduction. A healthy myelinated nerve fiber conducts signals at up to 70 meters per second. A demyelinated fiber, one that has lost its myelin sheath, conducts at a fraction of that speed or not at all. Second, the myelin sheath physically protects the nerve fiber from damage, inflammation, and the toxic effects of circulating compounds that would otherwise directly injure the delicate nerve tissue. When the myelin sheath breaks down through nutritional deficiency, metabolic stress, toxic exposure, or the cumulative effects of conditions like diabetes, nerve signal conduction slows, becomes irregular, and eventually fails. The nerve fiber itself becomes exposed and vulnerable to direct damage. Inflammatory compounds accumulate around the unprotected nerve tissue, and the progressive loss of sensation, the burning pain, the tingling, and the numbness that characterize peripheral neuropathy follow inevitably as the myelin deterioration advances. This is the biological reality of neuropathy. And it is a reality that pain medications, gabapentin, and antidepressants, the most commonly prescribed treatments for neuropathy, do absolutely nothing to address. They mask the symptoms. They do not protect or repair the myelin. They do not address the nutritional root cause. And the deterioration continues underneath the pharmaceutical band-aid while patients believe something is being done about the underlying problem. Now let us talk about the vitamin that changes this picture completely. Vitamin B1, also known as thiamine, and specifically its remarkable fat-soluble form called benfotiamine. Thiamine is one of the 8 B vitamins, and it is absolutely essential for the health and function of your peripheral nervous system. The reason thiamine is so critical for nerve health comes down to its role in energy metabolism at the cellular level. Your nerve cells, particularly the long peripheral nerve fibers that extend from your spine all the way to your feet and fingertips, are among the most metabolically demanding cells in your entire body. They require enormous amounts of cellular energy in the form of ATP just to maintain their electrical potential, transmit signals, and sustain the structural integrity of the myelin sheath. Thiamine is the essential cofactor for 3 of the most important enzymes in your cellular energy production pathway: pyruvate dehydrogenase, alpha-ketoglutarate dehydrogenase, and transketolase. Without adequate thiamine, these enzymes cannot function properly, and your nerve cells cannot produce the ATP they need for even basic maintenance functions, let alone for active repair and regeneration of damaged myelin. When thiamine is deficient, the consequences for your peripheral nerves are severe and progressive. Without adequate cellular energy production, your nerve cells begin to accumulate toxic metabolic byproducts, particularly advanced glycation end products or AGEs, that directly damage the myelin sheath and the nerve fiber itself. The nerve's ability to maintain its electrical potential deteriorates. Signal conduction slows and becomes unreliable. The myelin sheath thins and breaks down, and the symptoms of peripheral neuropathy, tingling, numbness, burning pain, loss of sensation, develop and worsen progressively as the thiamine deficiency deepens and the nerve damage accumulates. Research published in the journal Diabetes Care found that thiamine deficiency was present in a significantly higher percentage of patients with diabetic peripheral neuropathy compared to diabetic patients without neuropathy, strongly suggesting that thiamine deficiency is not just a consequence of neuropathy but a significant contributing cause. But here is where benfotiamine becomes the game changer, and why standard thiamine supplements are significantly less effective for neuropathy than benfotiamine specifically. Standard thiamine, the form found in most B vitamin supplements and in food, is water-soluble. This means it dissolves in water and is transported through the watery compartments of your blood and body fluids. But your nerve cells, and particularly the myelin sheath, are made primarily of fat. And water-soluble thiamine crosses fat-based cell membranes and penetrates nerve tissue very poorly. Most of the standard thiamine you take in supplements never actually reaches the nerve tissue where it is needed most. It circulates briefly in your bloodstream and is then eliminated through your kidneys without ever meaningfully penetrating the fatty nerve tissue where the deficiency is causing the damage. This is why patients who take standard B1 supplements often see minimal improvement in their neuropathy symptoms. They are taking the right nutrient in the wrong form. Benfotiamine is a synthetic fat-soluble derivative of thiamine that was originally developed in Japan and has been used clinically in Europe and Asia for decades, specifically for the treatment of diabetic neuropathy and other peripheral nerve conditions. Being fat-soluble, benfotiamine penetrates fatty cell membranes and nerve tissue with dramatically greater efficiency than standard water-soluble thiamine. Studies have shown that benfotiamine produces blood and tissue thiamine levels 3 to 5 times higher than equivalent doses of standard thiamine, meaning that far more of the active vitamin actually reaches the nerve tissue where the deficiency is causing damage. And in the nerve tissue, benfotiamine activates the transketolase enzyme pathway that specifically diverts toxic age-producing metabolic intermediates away from the damaging pathway and into the harmless pentose phosphate pathway, directly blocking one of the primary mechanisms through which thiamine deficiency damages peripheral nerves. The clinical research on benfotiamine for peripheral neuropathy is genuinely compelling. A double-blind randomized controlled trial published in the journal Experimental and Clinical Endocrinology and Diabetes found that patients with diabetic peripheral neuropathy who received benfotiamine supplementation experienced significant improvements in neuropathy symptom scores, nerve conduction velocity, and vibration perception threshold compared to placebo. Another study published in the International Journal of Clinical Pharmacology and Therapeutics found that benfotiamine produced significant reductions in neuropathic pain and improvements in nerve function in patients with alcoholic polyneuropathy. And a comprehensive review published in the journal Nutrients concluded that benfotiamine represents one of the most promising nutritional interventions for peripheral neuropathy, with a strong mechanistic rationale, meaningful clinical evidence, and an excellent safety profile that makes it suitable for long-term supplementation. The recommended therapeutic dose of benfotiamine for peripheral neuropathy based on the clinical literature is between 300 and 600 milligrams per day, divided into 2 doses of 150 to 300 milligrams taken with meals. Taking it with meals is important because the fat-soluble nature of benfotiamine means it is best absorbed in the presence of dietary fat. Take it with your most fat-containing meal of the day for maximum absorption. Benfotiamine is widely available without a prescription at major retailers including Amazon, Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, GNC, and most health food stores across America, typically priced between $15 and $35 for a 1 to 2 month supply, depending on the brand and dose. When choosing a benfotiamine product, look for brands that use pure benfotiamine rather than blends that dilute the active ingredient with inferior forms of thiamine, and choose products that are third-party tested for purity and potency. Consistency and patience are essential with benfotiamine supplementation for neuropathy. Unlike pain medications that produce immediate symptom masking, benfotiamine works by actually repairing and protecting nerve tissue, a biological process that takes time. Most clinical studies show meaningful improvements beginning at 4 to 8 weeks of consistent daily supplementation, with continued improvement building over 3 to 6 months of sustained use. Do not stop taking it after 2 weeks because you have not seen dramatic results. Give it the time the biology requires and track your symptoms carefully week by week so you can see the gradual but genuine progress that consistent supplementation produces. Now, I want to stop right here and share a story with you, because everything we have been discussing becomes so much more real and meaningful when you see it in someone's actual life. Margaret is a 67-year-old retired nurse from Houston, Texas. She had been living with peripheral neuropathy for approximately 4 years, a progressive, debilitating condition that had begun with occasional tingling in her toes and had advanced to constant burning pain in both feet, severe numbness that made walking on uneven surfaces genuinely dangerous, and nightly burning sensations in her legs that regularly woke her at 2 or 3 in the morning and left her exhausted and depleted every single day. As a retired nurse, Margaret was more medically knowledgeable than most patients, and she was deeply skeptical of the medication-focused approach her neurologist had recommended. She had tried gabapentin for 3 months and found that while it reduced the intensity of the burning somewhat, it left her so cognitively foggy and unsteady on her feet that the side effects felt nearly as bad as the neuropathy itself. She had stopped it after 3 months and was managing on nothing, which meant managing very poorly. Margaret's background in nursing gave her the research skills to dig deeply into the medical literature on neuropathy. She came across multiple studies on thiamine and benfotiamine, including the diabetes care study linking thiamine deficiency to diabetic peripheral neuropathy, and the clinical trials on benfotiamine showing meaningful improvements in nerve conduction and symptom scores. Margaret was not diabetic, but she recognized that the mechanisms of nerve damage from thiamine deficiency were not exclusive to diabetes, and that her own diet and the years of stress her nursing career had placed on her body could easily have depleted her thiamine levels significantly. She ordered a comprehensive blood panel that included thiamine levels and found that her thiamine was in the low normal range, not technically deficient by standard laboratory reference ranges, but far below optimal for healthy peripheral nerve function. She ordered benfotiamine 300 milligrams capsules, a reputable brand available on Amazon, and began taking 1 capsule twice daily with her 2 largest meals. She kept a detailed symptom diary, rating her burning pain, her numbness, her sleep quality, and her walking stability on a scale of 1 to 10 every single morning and every single evening. For the first 3 weeks, she noted no significant change. She had expected this based on her research and stayed consistent. At the end of week 4, she noted in her diary, burning pain at night slightly less intense, still waking up but falling back asleep more easily. By week 6, numbness in left foot slightly reduced. Walking on the path in my neighborhood felt slightly more stable. By week 10, Margaret's evening burning pain had reduced from what she had rated consistently as an 8 out of 10 to a 5 out of 10. Her morning numbness, which had been so severe that she could not feel the texture of her slippers, had reduced enough that she could feel the difference between carpet and tile flooring when she walked barefoot through her house, something she had not been able to do in over 2 years. At her 12-week mark, Margaret sat down and reviewed her symptom diary from the first day to the present. The trend was unmistakable and deeply moving. Every single symptom, burning pain, numbness, sleep disruption, walking stability, had shown consistent, progressive, week-by-week improvement over the 12 weeks of benfotiamine supplementation. She called her daughter and read the diary entries aloud, from the desperate entries of week 1 to the cautiously hopeful entries of week 4 to the genuinely encouraged entries of week 10. Her daughter cried. Margaret told her, "I spent 4 years being told to manage my symptoms. Nobody ever asked whether my nerves were getting the nutrition they needed. One vitamin, 4 years later. I wish I had known sooner." Margaret continues her benfotiamine protocol at 12 months and describes her neuropathy symptoms as approximately 70% improved from her worst point. She sleeps through most nights. She walks her neighborhood path every morning. And she has begun sharing the benfotiamine research with every patient and colleague she knows who is dealing with peripheral neuropathy. Now let us talk about what to pair with benfotiamine to maximize your results and create the most comprehensive nutritional support program for your peripheral nerves. Benfotiamine is the foundation, but several additional nutrients work synergistically with it to enhance nerve repair and protection. Alpha-lipoic acid, 300 to 600 milligrams daily, is a powerful antioxidant that regenerates thiamine at the cellular level and independently protects nerve tissue from oxidative damage. It works through a completely different mechanism than benfotiamine, and the combination of the two produces results that are meaningfully greater than either alone. Methylcobalamin, the active form of vitamin B12, 1,000 micrograms daily sublingually, supports myelin synthesis alongside benfotiamine's myelin-protecting effects. Even if your B12 levels appear normal on standard blood tests, the methylcobalamin form provides additional myelin support that complements benfotiamine powerfully. Magnesium glycinate, 300 to 400 milligrams at bedtime, reduces the nerve hyperexcitability that drives the burning and tingling sensations of neuropathy and supports the deep restorative sleep that is when most of your nerve repair and regeneration actually occurs. And omega-3 fatty acids from wild-caught fish oil, 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA daily, provide the essential fatty acid building blocks that your myelin sheath needs for structural repair and maintenance. Beyond supplementation, these daily habits significantly enhance the nerve healing environment your benfotiamine is working to create. Control blood sugar meticulously if you are diabetic or pre-diabetic. Elevated blood glucose is one of the most powerful drivers of the age accumulation and nerve damage that benfotiamine is working to counteract, and even the most effective benfotiamine protocol will be fighting an uphill battle against ongoing glucose-driven nerve damage. Eliminate alcohol completely. Alcohol is directly neurotoxic and dramatically accelerates the thiamine depletion that drives nerve damage. Exercise gently and consistently. Even short daily walks of 15 to 20 minutes improve circulation to the peripheral nerves and enhance the delivery of the nutrients your supplementation is providing to the nerve tissues that need them most. Protect your feet from injury. Neuropathic numbness reduces your ability to feel injuries to your feet, making careful foot inspection and protective footwear absolutely essential. And address any underlying conditions that may be contributing to your neuropathy. Thyroid dysfunction, kidney disease, autoimmune conditions, in collaboration with your healthcare team, because benfotiamine works best when the additional drivers of nerve damage are simultaneously being managed. The bottom line is this: peripheral neuropathy does not have to be a one-way road toward progressive disability and pharmaceutical symptom management. For a significant percentage of neuropathy sufferers, perhaps the majority, thiamine deficiency in the peripheral nerve tissue is a meaningful and correctable contributor to the nerve damage and the symptoms it causes. Benfotiamine, the fat-soluble, highly bioavailable form of vitamin B1 that actually penetrates nerve tissue and does the work where it is needed most, represents one of the most scientifically sound, most clinically supported, and most practically accessible nutritional interventions available for halting and reversing the nerve damage of peripheral neuropathy. Margaret found this after 4 years of suffering and a lifetime of medical knowledge. You now have this information today. Before 4 more years pass, use it. Talk to your doctor. Get your thiamine level checked. Start benfotiamine at the therapeutic dose. Be consistent, track your symptoms, and give your peripheral nerves the one vitamin they have been desperately waiting for. Now, before you go, drop a comment below right now and tell me your age and the city you are watching from. And tell me, Are you currently dealing with neuropathy symptoms? Have you ever had your thiamine or benfotiamine levels checked? I want to hear your story because your experience matters deeply to every single person in this community who is dealing with the same frightening and exhausting symptoms right now. I read every single comment personally, and if this video gave you something genuinely important, information that could protect your nerves, stop your neuropathy from progressing, and give you real hope for improvement, please share it right now with someone you love who is dealing with tingling, numbness, or burning in their hands and feet. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video. Take care of your nerves because they carry every sensation, every movement, and every connection you have with the world around you. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment of any kind. The information presented reflects publicly available research and clinical literature as of 2026. The patient story featuring Margaret is for illustrative purposes only. Individual results will always vary. Benfotiamine and all supplements discussed may interact with certain medications and may not be suitable for everyone. Always consult with a board-certified physician, neurologist, or registered dietitian before starting any new supplement protocol, especially if you are managing diabetes, kidney disease, or other serious health conditions or taking prescription medications. Never stop or adjust prescription neuropathy medications based on this video without direct physician guidance. The creator of this channel is not a licensed medical professional. No statements in this video have been evaluated or approved by the FDA. Nothing in this video is intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Never delay seeking professional medical advice because of content you have watched online. Viewer discretion is advised.